Hi everyone, welcome to practice. Thank you for practicing with me today. I have a fun, sort of different, creative, playful, very playful flow for us. We're going to begin kneeling on our mat, so come into thunderbolt pose, sitting back on your heels, and just take a moment to adjust and acclimate, to make your mark, your imprint on your mat, and then become present. So this sort of setup includes your posture, right? So just kind of feeling your way into structure and buoyancy simultaneously. You can place your hands on top of your quads and just take a moment to close your eyes and focus on the breath. Our ujjayi breathing, our even breath, inhaling and exhaling in and out the nose, up and down the back of the throat. This slightly constricted, slightly elongated breathing, where we're trying to use that controlled pressure of the breath to massage the back of the throat in an attempt to stimulate the vagus nerve. So this controlled pressure, kind of like a hydraulic system where you control the water pressure to create the movements. So we're controlling the location and the pressure of our breath with the attempt to stimulate the vagus nerve that runs from the brain. So our air is coming in, the brain right here, the vagus nerve runs down the back of the throat, goes through the lungs, goes through the diaphragm, our breathing mechanisms, and then all the way down to connect to the gut. That's our brain-gut axis, or our gut-brain axis. Brain, vagus nerve, back of the throat, lungs, diaphragm, to the gut. It is the fastest connection between the gut and the brain. And in doing so, why we even do this for our practice to stimulate that vagus nerve is because that takes us into a state of relaxation. The vagus nerve is responsible for taking us into the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is our rest and digest state. Why this is so interesting and cool is because the brain gut axis is connected by the vagus nerve that we're trying to stimulate with our breath to get into the rest and digest. So these words that we throw out, rest and digest, we know that's associated with the parasympathetic nervous system. Our relaxation, we know that when we're breathing in that specific yogi way that we're trying to stimulate that vagus nerve. So this is just the bringing it all together, big picture stuff. Brain, vagus nerve, gut. We stimulate it with the breath, rest, and digest. So now you know why we do what we do the way that we do it. And maybe now as you're focusing on that inhale and exhale up and down the back of the throat, through the nostrils, then you can really focus on our goal. Massaging that vagus nerve, coming into a state of rest and digest. I like on the exhale to imagine slowly releasing air from a tire. And as you inhale, make sure you're filling the lungs with air, which means that the rib cage expands versus belly breathing. And as you exhale, air's leaving the body. So now we compress. Air exits, we compress. So just make sure that you're focusing on that diaphragmatic breathing style versus the belly breathing, going in and out. Inhale. The rib cage expands to make room for the lungs to fill with air. Exhale, air is leaving the body. The belly can compress. The rib cage comes back to its normal state. Okay, I want you to take prayer hands right at your heart. pressing your thumbs into your sternum and pressing back with the sternum into the thumbs. This isometric action, so sternum into thumbs, thumbs into sternum, equal parts, they meet in the middle, and one does not overpower the other. So as you're completing this isometric action, pushing them into each other equally, notice the reverberation locally. As you complete this action, thumbs to sternum, sternum to thumbs, notice the reaction that happens, expanding out from that location. Keep it. Take your prayer hands behind you. Now, if you can't easily go into reverse prayer hands, just take upside down prayer hands at the low back. You're going to want to be at that lumbar section, but also the bottom of the thoracic spine and rib cage, bottom of the rib cage, thoracic, low thoracic, and lumbar spine. So that low back, that natural curve, we're not trying to erase the natural curve, but you'll notice that as you press into your back with, again, your prayer hands, maybe your thumb, or if you have reverse prayer hands, it's going to be that pinky knife edge of the hands. Press into the back and then equally press the back into your hands. And notice the reaction. This stamping of the belly button back towards the spine, but equal parts. One does not overpower the other. So that natural curve still is allowed. They meet in the middle. Go ahead and keep that, but remove your hands. Take your prayer hands to your third eye. I think you might know where we're going now. Press your thumbs into the third eye, equally press back into your thumbs with the third eye. Meet in the middle. One does not overpower the other. Keep this. Now we've got this sort of gears shifting together, moving together, maybe in opposite directions, but they use one another to sustain where they're at. Prayer hands, back of the skull, press the heels of the hands into the base of the skull, and then press the skull back into the base of the hands. Do so with awareness and preparation so that you can view the reaction as it occurs. Feel the reverberation and the connection to all the other places we've established. Keep that. Bring your hands forward and set up in your tabletop position, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. In the same way that we utilize the prayer hands to create those connections, I want you to do the same thing within at the core. So the front line of the torso hugs up to the spine at the same time. With equal pressure, the back line of the torso hugs down. They compress and meet in the middle. One does not overpower the other. Remember how valuable our breath is and that we can always check back in, tap back in, massage, send that pressure to the back of the throat, stimulate the rest and digest. Starting to melt our breath into the movement. We're going to move from gate position back to tabletop, opposite side gate, back to tabletop, really fluid-like. And it might start out a little stiff, but as we move and we stimulate all the synovial joints and the synovial fluid within them, natural lubricant for the joints, it'll start to smooth out. And as our brain processes what we want it to do, we grow more body-wide intelligent with every repetition. This is the way that the brain and the body works. Communicates, becomes more efficient, becomes muscle memory, so we don't have to think about it as much and we can just act. And as long as we're moving with integrity, then we can act and move in a way that is good for us, inside and out. Coming into right side gate on an inhale, sweep your left arm up and overhead. Keep rolling the shoulder open until you have a nice long lateral line along the entire left side of the body. So you have this sort of extended side angle with the upper body. Now continue that arm circle on an exhale. We're gonna bring that arm down. As soon as it meets the left leg, they're like a puppet on a string, attached by a string, and both will come back together. Your exhale removes the air from the body. We compress as we come back into our tabletop position, then we take it to the other side. So inhale, sweep, nice long lateral line. Exhale, puppet on a string, compress back to tabletop. Nice and fluid. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, center. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, center. Just let your breath guide you for a few more rounds. One more time each side. Even it out, come back to our tabletop position. And if you're ready, I'd like you to tuck your toes under and find plank position. So nothing changes. Just do one leg at a time to make sure nothing changes. That sandwich compression, that you can even imagine your prayer hands in those different locations. Find all of those co-contractions. Stabilization front to back, meet in the middle, slide the left foot back, tuck the toes under, and then bring the right side by side. Squeeze the thighs together gently. This is going to create another activation. And then imagine you're pressing into a door frame on the sides of the body. So we're squeezing inward as we are also expanding outward. The dynamic interplay of opposing forces. Exhale, remember air leaves the body, we contract. And then we're gonna move into side plank. We'll start with the right side, same formula. So inhale, sweep open. You can keep the feet staggered as we move in and out. Exhale, puppet on a string, back to plank. Inhale, big arm circle sweep around, puppet on a string, and exhale, back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, inhale, and exhale. One more time each side. Back at center, back at plank. We're gonna continue, but I want you to take that staggered leg, the left leg, for the right side plank, and kickstand it behind. So on that arm circle, we're gonna come into wild thing. And then again, that puppet on the string is gonna bring our kickstand leg back to center. Exhale, contract, plank position. So go ahead and inhale, right side plank, open to wild. Exhale, puppet on a string, back to plank position. Other side, inhale, arm circle, kickstand, wild thing. Exhale, bring the leg and the arm back to center and plank. Keep going. Figure out the right formula to smooth it out around the edges. This straight as a board, stiff plank, we melt with the smooth, rounded lines of wild thing, and then we make it seamless going between the two, the straight lines and the rounded, smooth angles. One more time each side. Plank position, go ahead and slowly, softly drop the knees and sit back on the heels. Making your way back to where we began, thunderbolt position. Place your hands on top of your quads, close your eyes. Now, the first time that we came into thunderbolt, we kind of acclimated and we established our imprint. We buoyantly came into structure and posture. And we establish co-contractions through isometric action in different locations of the torso up to the skull. Now, what I want you to do here is to truly close your eyes and visualize a timeless toy, the Etch-a-Sketch, with its red frame and its two knobs, one on the left base, one on the right base of the red frame. Now, maybe, depending, you can imagine your first time ever using an Etch-a-Sketch. You put your hands on those knobs and you kind of wiggle them around and try to figure out how they work, because they work separate but together. And the first time it's awkward and you're kind of just making a mess and jagged lines and it's rough and it's stiff. So maybe you shake it and you try again. But with time, you go right back to those knobs and you know exactly what the left hand and the right hand has to do to work together to create the picture in your mind and put it onto that Etch-a-Sketch. So with repetition and practice, every time you put your hands back on those two knobs, the picture becomes smoother, and those stiff, sharp angles, they can become rounded. Maybe you can make a word. Maybe you can draw a dragon. Imagine those knobs are kind of like the brain on one side and the musculoskeletal system on the other. So as we start to learn new movements, we have to figure it out, how they communicate, how they can become more efficient, more coordinated, more balanced, how we take straight lines and curves and make them work together seamlessly and simultaneously, how we smooth out the edges, but keep edges when we need them. This is the brain and the body working together, like an Etch-a-Sketch. In a way, you could think of it like one of the knobs is like silly putty and the other one is like a ruler. And you take these two very opposite items, but they have to work together to make the picture. But you don't give up. The first time you ever put your hands on those two knobs and start to move them is not the last. You shake, you clear, you try again. And this is also the way that the brain and the body works. Through repetition, we acquire skill. Through practice, we progress. Challenges is where we grow, and we don't just grow muscles, we grow smarter, we grow more connected, more coordinated, more balanced. So if somebody is ever like, I'm just not good at it, that is probably not true. Maybe the very first time, but that's how everybody begins. The more that you repeat an activity and try your hardest to complete the activity with integrity, the smarter your brain and body is becoming, because that is just the way that it works. The Etch-a-Sketch. All right, come back into your tabletop position and think about this before we move, but we're going to replace the right hand with the right foot, attempting to replace the right hand with the right foot as seamlessly as possible, simultaneously, to come up into a low lunge. So think first, then act. Let's exhale, contract, and inhale, low lunge. Exhale, back, and inhale, low lunge. Exhale, back, and inhale, low lunge. Fill it out. Take your time. It doesn't need to look like mine. Believe it or not, I practiced this first, so it probably looks a little bit different if I'm just throwing it at you. It might be that you're more like a jack-in-the-box, popping up at first. But then the more that you do it, and this is kind of the miracle and the amazing part about this process, is the quicker you learn, the better you do it. The more that you do it, the better you do it. It becomes more like taking a slinky from hand to hand. Time, repetition, practice, smooths out the edges. Your body is so smart and is sending all of these signals. How much do we need of this? How much do we need of that? What's the right position, the right force, the correct base of support? Where do we catch that center of gravity? Where do we need to stabilize? So really, in this very short amount of time, your body and your mind are getting smarter and smarter and smarter. And that movement gets smarter too. You don't have to think about it as much, hence muscle memory. We can just kind of go to it, enter that flow state. One more time. Bring it down. Now we have to take it to the other side. And things can differ from side to side, but you know where you're going. So exhale, contract, and inhale. Replace the left hand with the left foot. Back and forth we go. Little seesaw action. Trying to make a slinky out of the Jack in the Box. And maybe playing with it a little bit. Be curious. Be playful. Explore. Maybe try quicker repetitions. Maybe really try to slow motion your repetition. Stumbling, being challenged, that is not a failure. That is an opportunity. This is where we grow. You just found something to tap into. You found some potential within yourself. And now you know the route to unleashing that hidden, possibly dormant potential. It's really simple. Repetition. And how we do things matters too. Practice makes permanent, so make sure you're practicing what you want to become permanent. One more time, back to center, tabletop position. Let's step it up a notch. Let's take bird dog. Left arm forward, right leg back. Same thing, trying to simultaneously replace that right hand with our right leg. Remember, exhale, contract. That's going to help with that structural support, that postural component. And inhale, lunge. Maybe it was sticky. That's okay. We're going to work those two knobs of the Etch-a-Sketch. Figure it out. Smooth out those edges. Maybe you surprised yourself. Maybe your body and your brain already did some work for you in our first round. Now, we already talked about what amazing things the breath is working on doing in our practice, but it also keeps us really present in our actions. And that contraction to secure that structural support, that inhalation, it lifts the ribs. It's literally lifting the body to new heights. One more time. Come back to tabletop position. Let that settle in. Let it literally soak into your body. Soak it up like a sponge. Not to mention all the hydration we're creating by stimulating our system, moving, stagnation, circulating, oxygen, blood flowing. You can feel that heat. You can feel that energy, that sizzling inside and out. Churning up stagnation, stimulating the release of the synovial fluids, the lubricants. We are 60% water. We are a hydraulic system. With the right amount of pressure, we can use that to really control our movements and make them very fluid-like. Let's take it to the other side. So left leg back, right arm forward, exhale, contract, structural component. Inhale, swap, left hand, right foot, find your low lunge, exhale, find that structure with that compression. Inhale and exhale. Remember to stay curious, stay playful. What does it feel like to do it like this? What if I tried this? What if I sped it up? What if I slowed it down? All the different angles where we learn a little bit more outside of our lane, giving the body and the brain multiple directions and opportunities to learn and develop in many different ways. Again, unleashing that hidden potential, unlocking dormant areas, waking everything up. Asking all those places that get stagnant and sleepy to come out and play. It takes a village, it takes a team. Woo. One more time, we'll come back to center. Find your way to that tabletop position where we began. Bring the knees together and sit back on the heels. Let it soak in. All right, let's take it up a notch. This is just for fun because my cat is playing with things over here. They love it when I do yoga. This just popped into my head, so I want to see if we can do it and just challenge ourselves again to try something different, to try to piece together something we haven't done before, perhaps. So come back to that tabletop position. Let's start with our left arm forward, right leg back, coming to that bird dog. We're going to inhale, step forward into our low lunge. And then on the exhale, horizontal sweep and rotate to the left. At the same time, that back leg's gonna kickstand behind us. So that's gonna move simultaneously together. The back leg is sweeping back while our hands horizontally through the transverse plane sweep back as well. Okay, so inhale that low lunge, exhale, horizontal sweep to the left. Then the left hand meets up with the left heel. Perhaps you tuck your toes under and sweep open with the right hand, wild thing. Inhale, come back, find that low lunge. Exhale is going to take us back to bird dog. So we replace the right foot with the right hand and find our bird dog. Exhale, contracts. We find that structural support here. Then inhale, step forward. Exhale, sweep to the left. Inhale, open, and exhale, back. Inhale, lunge, hands to the sky. Exhale, switch hand and foot and find that bird dog structural support and repeat. All right, let's see if we can smooth it out. We just learned a new movement. We pieced it together. Now it's time to take that sandpaper and smooth out the wood. Here we go. Exhale, contract. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, sweep to the left. Inhale, open. Exhale, sweep back. Inhale, low lunge. And exhale, bird dog. Again, inhale, low lunge. Exhale, sweep to the left. Inhale, open. Exhale, sweep back. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, bird dog. 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Last one. Tabletop position, recenter, find that place of posture and symmetry and control. Exhale for that contraction, compression, and then we take it to the opposite side. So we've got the, which one did we just do? We're replacing the left hand with the left foot. So let's slide that left foot back and bring the right arm forward. Exhale, bird dog. Inhale. Set it up, reach the hands to the sky, low lunge. So this time we're sweeping open to the right, kickstanding the right leg behind, right hand to right heel, and inhale, open. Wild thing at the top. Exhale to sweep back, inhale, low lunge, and exhale, replace, find that bird dog once again. Inhale to rise, step forward. Exhale, sweep, inhale, open, exhale, sweep, inhale, low lunge, and exhale, bird dog. Keep going, smooth it out. See if you can't take what begins like those sharp, jagged lines on the Etch-a-Sketch. See if we can't work the two knobs simultaneously together, but in different ways to smooth it out, make some rounded lines, make it more fluid-like. Always playing with that dynamic interplay of opposing parts, even with the Etch-a-Sketch and its magnet inside. It's drawing the picture. This dynamic interplay of opposing parts, which is essentially working with the rounding, the softness, the fluid, with structure, support, hard lines and straight lines, using them together. They work together. Last one. Find that tabletop position. We'll sit back on the heels one more time and just let that soak in. Just letting that really embed and observing the different sensations that are occurring around the body right now. What has changed since our first time where we began in this position? And maybe there's a little bit of a sort of a cleanse and awakening happening, a little clarity, a little light. As the brain has gotten more oxygen, the blood is flowing and pumping. The learning has inspired the body and the mind. We can sit so often and become stagnant, succumbing to gravity. Remember that 60% of our body is fluid, so it's being pulled down with gravity and moving the body in all different directions, allowing it to really reach its potential, release that synovial fluid, lubricate joints. This is the awakening that our body craves. The movement, the action, the stimulation it craves. Okay, come forward, plant the hands, tuck the toes under, make your way back to downward facing dog. Now, it's our first time here, so take a moment to bend one leg at a time. Awaken the back of the legs. A little gentle inversion here as well. Partial arm balance, partial inversion. So our body has this natural reflex anytime that the brain goes below the heart. And the heart is above it. The brain has succumbed to gravity. The blood starts to rush towards the head. I'm sure we've all experienced that rush of blood to the head. Well, this automatic reflex occurs in our body's ultimate job of protecting itself in homeostasis. And what happens as soon as that signal is alerted that there's blood going in the opposite direction, working with gravity and moving towards the brain, this reflex occurs where the body is triggered to, boom, counterbalance that and automatically go into your parasympathetic state. So little gentle inversions can be a bypass, a gateway into our parasympathetic nervous system, taking you into a relaxive state. Now, not that anybody ever wants to hear it if they're upset, angry, and overreacting, but maybe they could do just like a really gentle inversion and turn things around. I don't suggest that you try that. I don't suggest that the next time you're arguing with somebody, you ask them to just take a second to do a gentle inversion. We always use the breath one. We know that is another gateway, right? The vagus nerve. Take 10 breaths. I don't think anybody really wants to hear that either if they're truly upset though. All right. Go ahead and step the right foot forward. And then turn to the left. So you're set up in a high side lunge now with a bent right leg. Go ahead and come up to a standing position. In your skater pose or a high side lunge, we'll sweep the arms over to the right with the right bent leg. From here on the inhale, I want you to take a Barbie foot, okay? And visualize in your head how Barbie's feet are, and that's what we're gonna do. On an inhale, we're gonna rise, lift, and inflate our bent side lunge leg, our right leg, to a Barbie foot. So inhale, rise. You can almost make it a little hydraulic-y, right? Exhale, imprint. When we imprint, I want you to imagine another timeless toy, the impression pins, the little metal pins, you stick your hand into it. Everybody only did a hand, right? There was no just single finger that was put into the impression toy. That's what I want you to imagine with your foot as you stamp it down. Imagine it's pressing into those pins, into that impression toy, making its imprint into the ground below. Inhale, Barbie foot. Exhale, impression. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And see if you can make it a perfect little combo, a little dynamic interplay of opposing forces of fluid-like hydraulic system, but structure and support. And notice, what your ankle joint's doing and see how it can stay aligned and structurally supported. So inhale and exhale. Keep going. One more time up. Barbie foot, exhale, imprint. We're gonna sweep on an exhale over to the right. I know your leg's probably starting to turn on, firing by now. Exhale, sweep over to the right, right side skater. Then we're gonna inhale, pivot all the way to the back of the mat, come into a crescent lunge. Revolve the torso, so you keep turning the torso even when the feet stop at the back of the mat to set up for lunge position right here. Our feet are now on railroad tracks, but our torso continues to revolve. And then we're gonna do a really gentle reverse. When you bring the right arm up to reverse it through the frontal plane, whoosh, that rainbow across the sky. At the same time that the hand comes up and starts to point backwards, I want you to do that puppet on the string between this hand and that back heel, so they both whoosh, move back together. Then as they come forward, we unrotate, unscrew the torso as we start to pivot the feet and land back on an exhale into our skater position. Here we've got our impression pins down. Inhale, Barbie foot. Exhale, impression pins. Inhale, sweep. Reverse revolve crescent. Remember the puppet string here. Pull the heel back as you point the right fingertips back. Exhale, skater. Inhale, Barbie foot. Exhale, impression. Inhale, sweep, reverse, puppet string. Exhale, come out, skater. Inhale, rise. Exhale, plant. Inhale, sweep, reverse, puppet string. Exhale, sweep, skater. Inhale, rise. Now let's smooth it out because that's edgy. You learn these different ones and you're trying to piece them together like a puzzle. Pieces are everywhere. Well, now we've placed them all together. It's a nice smooth picture. Here we go. Exhale, inhale, lift. Exhale, inhale, reverse. Exhale, inhale, lift. Exhale, inhale, reverse. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale, melt it together. The breath's gonna start to melt with the movement. Exhale, inhale. Make it hydraulic-y. Exhale, inhale. All of those different pieces, they start to become one, less pieces. Just guided now by your breath and the squeakiness of my floor. It's part of the music of our movement today. One more time, I'll take it back. Take it forward. One more little Barbie lift. And plant. Go ahead and bring your arms down. Turn towards the front of the mat. Plant the hands and step back, downward facing dog. Just in case you're overreacting, let's take a quick downward facing dog so you can relax. Trigger that reflex, tap into that relaxation. It's all good. You will make it through this practice. Okay, inhale. Step the left foot forward. I'm gonna turn so that I'm not having my back to you, but you just go ahead and step that left foot forward. Bend into the left leg. Keep your body side facing and come up, left side skater. Exhale, sweep the arms over to the left. Inhale, Barbie foot. Exhale, impression pins. Inhale, rise. Exhale, imprint. Keep going. Apply that hydraulic system. Fluid that is controlling that pressure to create the support. Structure and support influenced by the pressure of fluid. One more time. And exhale. Now, we do have the opposite side, so our body and our brain still have to do a little bit of cohesive mingling, but we know where we're going. So exhale, sweep, inhale, Barbie foot, exhale, drop and move. Inhale, reverse revolve. So remember that puppet on a string as this left hand reaches back and our reverse revolve, lunge, our heel pulls back with it, that puppet on a string. Exhale, sweeps us back, lands us in our left side skater. Inhale, hydraulic lift, Barbie foot. Exhale, impression pins, imprint down and move to the front of the mat. You might be at the opposite. You might be moving to the back of the mat. Reverse revolve, lunge, puppet string. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, lift. Exhale, plant, sweep, revolve, reverse, puppet string. Exhale, sweep. Transport yourself back over into time and place. Inhale, lift. Exhale, imprint. Sweep, revolve, reverse, puppet on a string. And transport yourself. Skater, lift, drop, sweep, revolve, reverse. Skater, lift, drop, sweep, revolve, reverse. Keep going. Just the sweet lullabies of my squeaky floor. The stories it could tell. Many an etch-a-sketch, slinky, you name it, has been played on this floor for over 100 years. One more. Barbie foot, lift, exhale, imprint, bring your hands down and find your way to downward facing dog. Roll forward, drop the knees, bring them together and sit back on your heels. Checking in back where we began. Hands on the quads, close the eyes. Let it settle. This place we've checked in multiple times. Notice each time the difference, the new sensations, the evolvement. Just notice, don't judge, just observe. What are you feeling and where? Maybe why? Let the breath come down to match the body now in this static pose. Everything comes back to meet in the middle. You start out stiff, right? And you hear that all the time because of people's daily lives and their activities of their daily lives. Oh, I'm just feeling so stiff, and maybe I'm feeling stiff in this location, or I'm feeling stiff today, or you hear it all the time. Very seldom do you hear, oh, I'm just so at length. Just so at length after everything I did today. I feel so loose. I mean, maybe, but more often than not, we hear about stiffness, and that's because whatever those repetitive actions of the day led to stiffness. Repetitive actions will change the body, will change the mind. So think about that when you have these sort of rituals and traditions and the way that you move throughout life. Move in a way that you want to feel. If you want to feel stiff, well, let's sit a lot. If you want to feel aches and pains, let's slouch and hunch. If you want to feel good and alive and vibrant, then move your body, move it in all directions and all ways. Optimize that range of motion and reverse stagnation. Challenge your body to grow and develop its proprioception. Challenge its coordination. Repeat movements that are sticky and smooth them out around the edges. Come forward, plant the hands, find your way back into downward facing dog. Just for a moment here, inhale. Exhale, step the right foot forward. We're gonna set up in that pyramid position. So we're heel to heel, back foot's turned out slightly, our hips are nice and square, or we're gonna keep encouraging them to do so. Your front right foot is fixed to the mat below you, but I want you to imagine you're dragging it forward towards the front of the mat. Because it's fixed, this pressure of down and forward is actually going to translate the force up the leg and back to the right hip, encouraging it to stay active, involved, and in line, nice and square with the left. So keep pressing, imprinting those impression pins down and forward. And as you imagine and you create the action, even though the foot stays fixed, of down and forward, you're going to feel the force translate up the leg into the right side hip. Bring your arms alongside your body and find a nice neutral back. Opposing forces here, a little tug of war action as you reach through the crown of the head, but also ground back through your glutes and your tailbone. Okay, arms are alongside the body, swept back. Inhale to rise and find a little split leg position. So we're really expanding and lengthening. Come onto the Barbie foot of the back left leg. As we come down, we're going to sweep back to our pyramid pose, and you might need to shorten your stance. Gauge it, feel it out, be playful with it, be curious, explore. As we come down, I want you to keep the Barbie foot in the back leg and then bend the left knee. We're still finding that tug of war through the spine, reaching through the crown of the head and grounding back. See, I need to shorten my stance a little here because I want my knees to stay in line. I'm going to bend this back left leg, keep a Barbie foot, sweep the hands back, reach through the crown of the head, and expand back through the tailbone. So feel that dynamic interplay of forces, that tug of war of the spine. Keep reaching back, even compress the low belly. See if you can feel that sandwich compression front to back, meeting in the middle. Inhale to rise, keep that Barbie foot at the back foot, but that staggered split, maybe even you rise to the front balls of the feet if you want a little extra challenge. And then exhale, we sweep back. We're gonna try to find that neutral spine. Knees are stacked side by side, arms sweep alongside the body. It's challenging. That right side leg should be on fire already. Let's try one more time. Inhale to rise. And exhale to sweep. Bent back leg, Barbie foot, pyramid, variation. And inhale to rise. From here, you can stay on the Barbie foot of the back foot. We're gonna rotate to the right. So we're gonna kind of like wind our body up and turn to the right. And we've got crossed legs now, and we're gonna curtsy squat down. So we're dropping that back knee. It's not gonna drop all the way. It could maybe graze the bottom or hover. Then come back up, square off, split stance. Exhale, sweep, bend the back knee. Inhale, rise. Exhale, pivot and drop. Curtsy squat. Inhale, rise and square to the front. Exhale, sweep. Pyramid variation. Inhale, rise. Exhale, wind up. Curtsy drop. Inhale, rise and square. And exhale, bend and sweep. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Smooth it out. Exhale. Be playful. Explore. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Awesome. Drop the hands down, release that right knee and step it back. Find your way to downward facing dog. Now, after that, and the fire and the burn you're probably feeling in that right leg, you really probably do need this inversion to calm down and stop being so mad at me. But it's fun, right? Explore these new pieces of the puzzle, wrap our brain around it, put them together, smooth it out. It's so satisfying. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, roll forward, step that left foot forward. Turn the back foot out, heel to heel, and you might want to begin with that shortened stance, knowing now what we've learned from before. Finding that pyramid, finding that tug of war through the spine, reaching through the crown of the head, and grounding back through the tailbone. Imprint the left foot into the ground, and then traction, pull it forward. It stays fixed, but the force transmits up now the left leg to the left hip, squaring off the hips. We have that nice flat back. Our arms sweep behind. Inhale to rise. As we rise, we pick up the back heel. So now it faces forward. We find that Barbie foot in the back. Inhale here. And exhale to come back down. Now here's where we have to gauge our correct distance. We don't turn the back heel and drop it anymore. Stay on that Barbie foot and bend the right knee. Knees end up side by side and the arms sweep behind. We find that opposing forces reaching through the crown of the head, grounding back through the sit bones. And then inhale to rise. If you want added challenge, you rise onto the balls of the front foot. Exhale, lower. Press down, imprint, and scoot that foot forward, though it stays fixed. Feel that translation up the left leg to the left hip, sweep back, opposing forces. Reach through the crown of the head, ground back through the sit bones. Inhale to rise. Exhale, pyramid variation. Inhale to rise. And exhale, sweep back. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg on fire. Inhale. And exhale. One more time we come up. And this time we'll be turning over to the left. Curtsy drop. Exhale. Inhale to rise. Square it to the front of the mat. And exhale, sweep back. Pyramid variation. Inhale to rise. Exhale, turn to the left. Wind up the body, curtsy drop. Inhale, center and stretch. Exhale, pyramid variation. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Really compressing. Remember, we compress structural control on that exhale. Inhale, expand and lift. Exhale. Slow motion like that parachute coming down, resisted by air. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. parachute landing. Inhale, rocket launching. Exhale, parachute landing. And inhale, shooting towards the sky. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pivot. Drop. Inhale, reach. And exhale, pyramid variation. Loosen that left knee, plant the hands, step it back. Take a little downtime. Flip your perspective. Let it go. Relax in downward facing dog. You can use that gentle partial inversion and your ujjayi breathing to stimulate relaxation. The double whammy. All right, inhale, roll forward, look forward, crisscross, applesauce, come all the way down into Sukhasana, your easy seated position. Give the legs a little bit of a break for a second. I still have a couple curious things I'd like to explore with you. Standing, but first, let's take a different angle. Come down supine onto your back. Take tree pose, supine, with the right sole of the foot to the left inner thigh. Keep the left leg bent for now. Now we're gonna have that isometric action. The sole of the foot pressing into the adductors, the inner thigh pressing back into the sole of the foot. And you're really gonna have to keep that active to hold this position supine. That pressure that meets in the middle, our foot like one prayer hand against the inner thigh. Stay here and let's check in with our core. Nice little tight cinch around the waist, sandwich compression, front to back. The hips nice and square as much as possible. We got different things going on with the legs, different actions going on for each hip joint. So just noticing, being aware, non-judgmental assessment of what it takes to have this position. Now I want you to gently graze the mat with your heel to bring the left leg, the left knee into extension, straighten that leg, and then pull it back. Start here at the pelvic floor, like it's an elevator moving up. Pull from the pelvic floor up to the belly button to draw this knee up into bent position, into flexion. Then inhale to lengthen. Exhale, pull. That compression at the core as the air exits the body. We have room and we're gonna compress and pull this leg into bent position. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull it in. Stay. We're gonna reverse the breathing and see how it affects our movement. Okay, so exhale, slow motion like a hydraulic system, right? Slide that heel out. The core flattens. Inhale, that lifting force, draw the knee in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Draw the heel up, the leg remains bent. And you can take a little plantar flexion here, a little point of the toes, of the foot, of the ankle. Check in with the waist again. Hugging, 3D cinch, squeezing a tube of toothpaste, sandwich compression, front to back, locked in. Stamping that belly button back to the spine. We're going to just hinge at the hip to slowly and gently just tap that left foot to the mat and bring it back up. Exhale, hydraulic release. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, tap, inhale, lift, exhale, tap, inhale, lift, pause, reverse the breath. Be playful with the breathing mechanism. So we're gonna inhale. As we lower, exhale, compress and draw the knee in. Inhale. Think of length in a different direction. Exhale, flatten the tummy, draw the left knee in. Inhale, exhale, inhale, Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Release your right foot. I know you're probably ready for that. And drop both feet down to the mat. Rest the knees in towards one another. Take a moment. Take a breath. Let's take it to the other side. So the left sole of the foot, right inner thigh. Isometric action, meeting in the middle. Imagine that left foot is one prayer hand. The right adductors, inner thigh, are another. They press together equally. Keep that check in with the waist. 3D center on the waist. Low belly stamped down to the spine. The low back is not stamped to the mat below it, but it's holding space. It's meeting in the middle. We have that sandwich compression. Okay, we're gonna exhale, slide the heel out, and inhale, draw the knee in. Exhale, slide the heel out, and inhale, draw the knee in. Pause. You pick. Which breathing method did you enjoy better on the other side? So you pick. Which one is the inhale and exhale? And here we go. You're also welcome to do a few one way and then explore the opposite. Stay curious. One more time. Now lift the knee, check in with the hips, the waist, the core. Hold space for that natural curve of the low back. Plantar flex the foot, and same thing. Think about it first. Which one's your exhale? Which one's your inhale? And go. Last one, bring it up, release the foot, plant both feet down, rest the knees together. Bring the soles of the feet together, come into Baddha Konasana, supine. We're gonna do a butterfly bridge. So we aren't going for our deepest, highest bridge. We're gonna inhale, lift the hips, and at the same time, we'll lift these butterfly wings. But as we come up a little higher, we're going to rotate the knees till they do point straight up and the soles of the feet imprint into the mat below us. Immediately, on our exhale, we slow lower, really apply the hydraulic system here, to come back out the way we came in. So at the top, you're welcome to move your feet out a little when we plant them to the ground. If it feels okay, you can also keep the inner knife edges touching. So we'll come up here at the middle. If you do have the inner edges of the feet touching, then pull the adductors, the inner thighs towards one another as well. As you come down, the wings splay out to the side as we slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lower the back, and then the pelvis back down to imprint into the mat below us. Release at the bottom, soles of the feet together. Inhale to rise, nice and slow. We start in that butterfly position. As we move up, 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 the knees close together. At the top, the thighs meet, and exhale, reverse on out. Nice and slow so you can truly feel your way in and out. And you have to take responsibility here for your body, the movement, and what the signals are telling you. Yes, no, that's too much, that doesn't feel okay. Feet wider, feet together. So part of this exploration and this curiosity of exploring movement also holds an element of responsibility. Okay? When you play around with movement, sequences, structure, and control, we have to feel, and that's why we have our nervous system to tell us what is good, what is bad. We have to feel and observe the sensations and try to understand them and what they're trying to communicate with us. Sometimes it's really easy to do that with familiar places. We're just checking right back in. That practice has made permanent. But when we take on a new angle, a new movement, or a new combination, then we have to really take it slow and that gradual progression to understand what the body is experiencing and what it's trying to tell us about its experience. That's our job, being curious, being non-judgmental, and being present and aware, that internal awareness, that's our job to observe. The observer. We take that magic school bus within our own bodies and we drive it around, fueled by the breath, putt-putting the engine, all the nooks and crannies of our body, to observe and take notes of what is going on. This amazing communication system says, no, stop. Too much, too far, ouch. Don't do that. And we just have to listen. One more time up. And one more time back down. Slowly turn to your side. Slowly come to a seated position. And slowly come all the way to standing. Take a slightly wide stance. Inhale your hands to the sky, that rocket launching into space, and then exhale, slow parachute. Like those giant parachutes we used to play with as kids. Everybody stands all around it, swishes it up to the sky, steps inside, and sits underneath. Here we go, we just landed. Malasana. Reach to the crown of the head, ground down through the sit bones. Press the palms together, elbows press into the inner thighs. Elongate the spine. Find your breath, find your calm. Inhale to rise. Exhale to pivot to the left. Okay, so now you'll see that we're in this staggered position. Slide that left foot back so that the ankles are crisscrossed. Inhale the left arm up and overhead, side bend to the right. Feel that lateral stretch along the left side body. Press the right arm into the right leg and press back into the arm with the right leg. Meet in the middle. One does not overpower the other. Feel the reverberation, the action transmitted elsewhere in the body. As you press here, this left side rib cage, shoulder, the left side hip should rotate and open a little deeper. Inhale, back to straight, crisscross ankles still. Take this left hand down, puppet on a string. Take this front left leg. They're gonna come up together. They're coming up together. And this left hand's gonna guide that left foot into tree position. That prayer hand of the foot into that right inner thigh. They meet in the middle, pressing into one another. Isometric action. Let's join the prayer hands in that same application and press the thumbs into the sternum. Press back into the sternum with the thumbs. Feel how that expands, rotates, and opens the shoulders and broadens the chest. Keep that. Take your hands behind you, either upside down or reverse prayer. Press your hands into the low back. Press back into your hands with your low back. Feel how that doesn't straighten out the natural curve. It holds space for it, strong structural support for it, and it stamps the low belly back towards the belly button. Keep that. Take your hands forward up to your third eye. Press the thumbs into the third eye. Press back into the thumbs with the third eye. Feel how this shifts the palate back. Keep that. Take the prayer hands back and behind, heels of the hand, base of the skull. You know where we're going. Press the heels of the hand into the base of the skull. The skull presses back. They meet in the middle. Feel the reverberation, the reaction in those surrounding areas. They meet in the middle. One does not overpower the other. Bring your prayer hands straight overhead. Take the left one out to wingspan and frame your head with the right. Breathe. Find that Ujjayi breath. hydraulic control, pressure sent to the back of the throat. Inhale, both hands overhead. Go down that center axis, that center line, the sagittal plane. Moving in this vertical line down through, past the third eye to the heart center. Go ahead and point, rotate the prayer hands so they're pointing down. We'll go through that solar plexus and then puppet on a string. We're gonna assist that left leg to loosen from its grasp. It can slide down and crisscross back in front. Step it forward slightly, turn to the front of the mat. Take that slightly wide stance. Inhale, arms to the sky, rocket launches. Exhale, bring the parachute down nice and slow. We're gonna sit on the inside and land with the elbows on the inside of the legs. Press the palms together, elongate the spine. Inhale to rise. Slow motion, rocket launches to space. We're gonna rotate to the right this time. And I will just turn around so I'm not facing my back to you. Slide that front right leg back, crisscross the ankles. Bring the right arm up and overhead, side bending. To the left, feel that lateral stretch on the right side. Take your left arm alongside the left side of the body. Press into your side body and press back into your arm with your side body. Feel the force translate to open the right side rib cage, your right side shoulder expands with that isometric pressure of the hand into the leg and the leg meeting in the middle, not letting it be bullied. Imprint those feet for stability, those impression pins. Inhale, come up. Bring that right hand down, puppet on a string, right leg comes up, right hand assists into tree position, right sole of the foot, inner thigh, right sole of the foot, prayer hands. Meet in the middle. Then we take our real prayer hands to heart center, pressing into the sternum and pressing back. They meet in the middle. One does not overpower the other. Taking them behind the back, pressing into the back, and the back pressing into the hands. Feel the low belly stamp back towards the spine and the low back hold space. Don't let it be bullied. Keep that. Bring it up to third eye. Make that isometric pressure and feel the palate shift back. Prayer hands, heels of the hands, base of the skull. Hands come up and overhead. Take the right arm out to wingspan and the left will frame the head. Find your breath. Calm, cool, collected, control. Inhale, hands back up to the sky. Exhale, bring them down through that center line, the sagittal plane. Puppet on a string, slow and controlled assist. Back to standing, crisscross ankles. Step the right foot forward, slightly pivot to face the front of the mat. Slightly wide stance. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, slow motion. Land your parachute all the way down. Elbows to the inside of the thighs, press the palms together. This is going to translate the force to the elbows, to the inner thighs. Reaction being the elongation of the spine, reaching through the crown of the head and out the tailbone. Inhale, elongate a little bit bit more. And then exhale, bow forward, rounding, flexion in the spine, as round as you can get, tucking that chin to the chest. Keep tucking, keep rounding till the sit bones meet the earth. Slowly, slowly, slowly melt your way down. Keep that rounding, that flexion of the spine as we melt down. First, the sacrum will hit the mat. And then maybe as minimal as you can, as slow as you can, one vertebrae at a time, come all the way down to your mat. Take those feet mat distance apart, gentle windshield wipering of the knees side to side. Start moving your head really gently in the opposite direction that the knees fall. Maybe slow down the windshield wiper a little bit. Head to the right, knees to the left. Go ahead and settle into your supine twist. Gently come out. We'll find that simpatico windshield wipering, head and knees opposite direction again. And then knees to the right, head to the left. Settle into your twist. Ground the shoulders down. Melt the shoulder blades into the mat below. Imagine they're like silly putty, just molding and melting, slowly succumbing to gravity. Malleable, not stiff. And then come back to center. We're going to slowly and gently bring our legs up and overhead, taking halasana, plow pose, a little upside down forward fold. Keep the neck long and the nose points straight up. And put some support on your low back with your kickstand hands. And if you want, as you come out, you can take the legs straight up into your shoulder stands. If that's in your practice. If not, just linger in your plow pose a little longer. And then all together, we are going to really, really, really slowly come out of our upside down forward fold. Slow as possible, really melting into the mat like butter in a pan. Just melting into the base of that pan, nice and slow. Find your length of the back side of the body on the mat below you. Make your way into Shavasana. Let the legs just fall open, the arms alongside the body, palms face up. This is where we soak in the benefits of the practice. This is why we did everything we did to get to right here, this place on the mat. Because of all the work that we did and the sequence of events and the way that we did it. This is the door that we open to access the brain waves that are responsible for the ultimate healing, the ultimate recovery, the ultimate restoration, these magical brain waves for ultimate relaxation. And while you're here, I want you to imagine that you're next to a stream, really crisp, clean mountain stream. It's got pebbles and rocks that make the layer of ground below where that crisp, clean, clear water runs, trickling past, sort of water falling down the hill. And you're there, you're sitting in the grass. There's a few little tiny wildflowers around you, little white ones, a couple little tiny purple ones. And there's a perfect little rock next to this trickling, crisp, clean stream. Perfect size to just sit on. So you sit there and you have your gold pan with you because you know that this stream and this mountain location is pretty magical and known for having gold in that ground of pebbles and rocks that make up the layer below the water. So you take your shovel and you take a big scoop of that pebble, sandy rock layer of earth below the water, and you place it into your gold pan, which has a bunch of holes in it so that you can sift out the tiny pebbles, the tiny sand, so that only gold is left in your pan. And as you imagine sifting your gold pan back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and the pebbles in the sand sifting through the holes, dropping back into the water, slowly, gracefully floating back to the ground that makes up the earth below the running water, I want you to shift your ankles, your heels grounded. It's going to shift your whole body in Shavasana back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Gentle little shift. The feet just moving up and down, up and down, up and down, gently sifting your body. And you can imagine the sand that's falling. The floor below you, the mat below you is that pan and the sand, all the things you don't need, all the things you're trying to let go of. That sand, the small pebbles, they're falling. They're falling from your body, sifting through your gold pan. They're drifting through the water and landing to make up the earth below. So keep sifting, sifting, sifting. Let the pebbles, let the sand fall through the pan that is the ground below you. Let them gracefully fall, slow motion through the water and land into the earth to make up the earth. Sift and sift and sift. Let it all fall out, whatever is left. Any remaining little pebbles, any remaining tiny pieces of sand. Let it all go. And come to stillness. Let your legs just fall open again. And what is left in that pan is just gold. Pure gold, weighted, a heavy, precious stone, bright and shiny and warm, full of light, glowing, the sun hitting that beautiful gold and shining and glowing right back. That is you, your body. Pure gold. Thank you so much for joining me for this very playful practice today. Stay here. Stay here as long as you like. Reap the benefits of this practice. Tap into those slower brain waves where true healing and restoration occur. There's no rush. You did everything you did to get right here. Bask in that light. Namaste.